What's your Tyler's back on the retro reviews on Tyler's retro reviews with WWE Vengeance 2002. This is another like rare thing to get, like January 2002. That is. SmackDown, shut your mouth. We bring the weapon. You bring the ass. I did review that one on the main channel, so there's that. So yeah, let's get to July, which is a month from now, and yeah. This is actually the second annual Vengeance pay-per-view. The first one was in December 2001, and yeah, it was actually a great event. But yeah, this was another really good pay-per-view. So yeah, July 21st, it was a Raw and SmackDown event, and it was also in the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan. By the way, what's also kind of weird is that the first part of the Vengeance had Michael Cole and Taz doing it, and then the second half was Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler. Okay, this is before SummerSlam, where uh they do have the Raw announcers announce the Raw matches, which are JR and Jerry Lawler, and then the SmackDown commentators was commenting the SmackDown matches, which was Michael Cole and Taz. I don't know why this had that. This is which is kind of weird, honestly. And also throughout the night, they were about to say which brand choice is going to be on throughout the entirety of the night. But it's kind of weird is that Triple H was technically part of the SmackDown brand, but I guess his contract with SmackDown was up or something. So around this time, also we have the GM, so he did the ownership thing, which was a precursor to the GMs, but yeah, Eric Bischoff became the GM of Raw, and Sami Zayn become the SmackDown GM, and I'm telling you right now, Trish was chosen. He chose Raw, so he could do the feud with Shawn Michaels, and you obviously know the rest. So there's that. I don't know why I was gonna tell that all the way through. So there's that. Anyways, Vengeance 2002. We gotta get this over and done with. So we're gonna get back to the TNA Atlanta 2006 next week. Oh yeah, spoiler, that's next week. So, and you obviously know what the next one is. So I'm gonna know about that. Anyways, with a tag team elimination tables match. The Dudley Boys of it's not Bo Ray and Devon because Devon was on SmackDown doing this stupid reference thing. It's Bo Ray Dudley and Spike Dudley, and they defeated Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero. I'll give it credit. It was actually a fun tables match, but yeah, it's not the same without the original Dudley Boys, Bo Ray and Devon. But that wouldn't happen until Survivor Series. Maybe I'll do that in November. Yeah, I'll probably do that in November. So, yeah. I get a 7 out of 10. Good match. Anyways. With the Cruiserweight Championship match next, Jamie Noble defeating Billy Kidman. Another decent match, but they would have a better match at Survivor Series, so there's that. And yeah, that was that. Decent match. I give it a 6 out of 10. So there's that. Anyways, next is for the European Championships. Jeff Hardy defeats William Regal to retain the European Championship. Short, not great. Regal was fussy about losing this match. And there, a 4 out of 10 I'll give it. Yeah. Unfortunately. Anyways, then we had the pay-per-view debut of John Cena. He defeated Chris Jericho. This is not as good as their matches like later on, like when Cena was the champion and all that. But, you know, it was a good spot, you know, good match. But John Cena at the time was really bland. Besides his debut quote against Kurt Angle saying, "What is the one thing you're qualified for?" And Cena, of course, says ruthless aggression, slaps Angle in the face. And yeah. 6.5 out of 10 I'll give it. Not, like I said, they'll have better matches like later on, like in 05 and 08. So, yeah. I'm just saying. Anyway, next up is for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Raw Van Dam defeats Brock Lesnar by disqualification. So let's resolve this. Van Dam will keep the Intercontinental Championship, although he technically still was the Intercontinental Champion going into this. Which, yeah, Lesnar was not going to lose his first match against Rob Van Dam yet here because they're saying Brock has to face the winner of the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam. And they had to protect Brock at some point, so they had Paul Heyman grab referee Charles Robinson and pulls him out of the ring. And Charles Robinson pushes Paul Heyman back like he's Earl Hebner. And Van Dam dropped him. And Charles Robinson beat the fuck out Paul Heyman. And then Lesnar gave us the Pat and Robinson bump. And then Lesnar got his heat back by F5ing Van Dam onto a steel chair. It was actually a lot better than their King of the Ring 7-2 match in the finals of that. And, yeah. Anyways, 6.5 out of 10 again. Could have been, like I said. But regardless. Moving on to another disqualification match. Booker T defeats the Big Show. It was just there. It was just a random match between Booker T and the Big Show. Booker won. You know, the scissors hit through the Spanish announce table was kind of cool. Of course, the Spanish announce table gets fucked up. What else was new with that table? This was mostly just... I think this was right after Nash tore his quad. And I know funny, like, whole thing. I know Nash has some issues with his legs and all that. So I say this in the nicest way possible for Mr. Kevin Nash. We're not seeing Nash again until the following year. But yeah. Yeah. It was a fine match. Give it a 6 out of 10 again. Not that many, like, long matches. Anyways. Next up is for the Tag Team Championships. The Un-Americans of Christian and Lance Storm defeats Edge and Hollywood Hogan. Yeah. Edge and Hogan were the Tag Team Champions. Kind of those weird universe mode type champions. So, way too much interferences, I'm just being honest with you, with testing, Rikishi, and then Jericho came out of nowhere. You thought it was going to set up a match between either Jericho versus Hogan or Jericho versus Edge? Nope. Because Chris Jericho would go to Raw, as well as Young Americans would go to Raw also as the tag team champions. Yeah. I guess they joined Triple H for that. 5 out of 10 I'll give it. It was another weak match. And then finally we get a main event match for the main event for the WWE Championship in a triple threat match. The Rock defeats Kurt Angle and The Undertaker. Also during this, Kurt was getting interviewed and he went face to face with Brock Lesnar, which is kind of a foreshadowing right there because Brock, actually, that whole thing with Rock, with Lesnar and Van Dam was not going to be long anyway because Lesnar would go to SmackDown after that, but still. Which, yeah, that's another which is kind of foreshadowing, Angle and Brock for WrestleMania 19 and all that. This was a good triple threat match. I won't say it was one of the best triple threat matches ever. I think WrestleMania 20 was the best, WWE triple threat matches, I think. Now, this was supposed to be just Undertaker versus The Rock, but a match on SmackDown where Kurt and Taker tied for that, and this led to this triple threat match here. Like I said, it was the best match on the show. Let's just be fair here. Rock won. He unfortunately dropped the title to Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, and never touched the WWE again until 2013. Yeah. So I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah. 8.5 out of 10. This show overall was, fine, but the set was kind of lame, honestly. But that was Vengeance 2002. It was a fine show. I'll give it a 6.8 out of 10. The matches could have been longer, but I guess time constraint or something. I don't know. I have no fucking clue. We're going back to the year 2006 next week for Victory Road. Don't worry. It is the 2006 edition, not the one you're thinking of, because we already did that back in March. You know that one. I know that one. And we are not talking about that one again. But yeah, Victory Road 2006 is next week. And my rest of my main channel content will be there. Like I said, one show again for WCW because the Bransler thing was not working out for me. But you obviously know about that. And I'm done for now. Like this video, comment below, subscribe to this channel notification was found by Secretary Sales College Review, so you will see next week we TNA Victory Road 2006. And we're done. Bye-bye.